First of all, I have to thank our sponsor, World Energy. I'm going to apologize for them. There's a few people at their table. Wave. Thank you. They had some government agency come in early today, and they are finishing up with them. So when they come in, we should just shock them by just applauding when they all walk in late. But I do want to thank them for their generous sponsorship for this event, because with that sponsorship, we get this lovely lunch and get to spend this time together. Second thing is that at your seat, you have a sponsored gift from them that you get to take home. So each one of these fingers pop out, and they're a little highlighter. This was in honor of, they're working on a big project right now, and it's progressing very well. So this is just a big high five to them for their project in going to renewable fuels, which is a big plus for everybody in our community. So with that, I'm going to go through a ton of introductions at this point. I know the temptation is to clap every time, but please hold the applause until the end. I'll tell you when it's ready, because I have a long list. So I want to introduce some government officials, elected officials that are here, represented by their field reps. First of all, we have Cynthia Morales representing Congresswoman Lucille Roby-Allard. If you could wave or stand when your name is called. Thank you. We have Daniel Cervantes representing Senator Lena Gonzalez. We have Adrian Landa representing Speaker of the Assembly, Anthony Rendon. We have Lauren Yokomizo representing the Los Angeles County Supervisor, Janice Hahn. We have Jeffrey Prang with the LA County Assessor's Office. Is he here? Oh, thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't realize he wasn't going to make it. Thank you for being here. Then we also have from our city, we have our mayor, Brenda Olmos. We have our vice mayor, Vilma Cuellar-Stallings. We have our council members, Isabel Aguayo and council member Peggy Lemons. We also have, hold it. It's going to get out of control real fast. We also have our city manager, John Moreno. And we have our assistant city manager, Andrew Villalpando. There he is. We have a former city manager here, Pat West. I wanted to say hello to him. Thank you for coming, Pat. We also have from our Unified School District, we have the Board Vice President, Diane Martinez. And of course, we have our Superintendent, Ruben Frutos. We have from our LA County Sheriff's Department, we have the Acting Captain, Juan Braceno. We have Lieutenant Omar Camacho. And we also have Sergeant Emk. Am I saying that correctly? Thank you. I was so worried. We have with the LA County Fire Department, we have Battalion Chief Jeremy Montgomery. Thank you, Jeremy, for being here. We have representing our local colleges, we have Keith Curry, President and CEO of Compton Community College. We have Barbara Jean Calhoun, Compton Community College Board of Trustees. They didn't make it. They're here? Okay. We have Juanita Doppelmore, also a Board of Trustee. Okay, and then we also have, representing the Chamber of Commerce, we have our president, Alicia Valadez. We have our senior vice president, Chris Rich. There he is. And we have a vice president, Queen Uchekwe. She's with Weber Metals. Chris is with Wavefront, and Alicia is with Northgate Markets. They represent companies on our board. Then we also have our treasurer, Dr. Max Martinez. We have a director, Leonard Crespo. We have director, John Tanklage. We have director, Tony Manos. And then we also have our hardworking ambassadors. We have our ambassador chair, Sam Katab. There he is. We have our vice chair, Tony Warfield. We have Secretary Nicole Murray. I think she wasn't able to make it. She's also one of the World Energy people that will get a clap later, right? Then we also have Corinne Galvez, and there she is. And we also have Margaret Garcia, and we have Tim Hickok, and we have Dr. Linda Timmons, and we have Matt Wagner. Did he make it? Okay. He's so tall, you can't miss him if he's here. Well, that concludes our VIP introductions, but for me, I also have two other VIPs, and that's my staff that really helps keep this going, and that is Taylor Van Buren, and she may still be out in the back checking in people, and Scarlett Jimenez, who is running around with the camera. So thank you for your support in the office. So now you can applaud. We appreciate all of you people taking time out of your day to be here for this. It's one of our most important lunches every year, so we look forward to it. So at this time, I'm going to invite the Paramount Youth Commission chair. Her name is Andrea Perez, to come up. She's going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and following that, Pastor Ken Corver will step up and lead us in an invocation.
Okay. Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I've been a part of Paramount for almost my whole life, and I'm so proud of this city. Let's pray together. Lord, we thank you for the city of Paramount and for your hand of blessing on the city. We thank you for our chamber and their excellent work of serving the community. We thank you for our city council and staff and the shalom that they have brought to the city. We thank you for our schools and churches and businesses and civic groups, our police officers and firemen, for the residents and the clubs. We thank you for how there's been unity in the city and what you showed when you came to this earth and you washed feet and you healed the sick and you clothed the naked and you fed the hungry and you called us to serve. We thank you that that's been a heartbeat of Paramount. There's been service and humility. So for all this, we thank you. We pray for the world situation. We pray peace in the world, peace in Ukraine, for a breakthrough there. And we give you this day, and we pray, Lord, that we would honor you, that we would find ways to serve and bless the city, down to our children, to the oldest person, and that we would love one another. Thank you for this food. We are grateful. In Christ's name, amen.
I want to thank the city, the chamber, and the school district for allowing me to share a little bit about what we're doing here at World Energy Paramount. Right here in Paramount is the very first oil refinery that is being 100% converted to never again produce fossil fuels in this community. And we're doing it with 100% renewable products that come from used cooking oil, waste agricultural inputs, from soybean oil, from animal fats, all products that have recovered the sun's energy while they were doing something else, and we're converting that sun's energy into liquid fuels right here that are displacing fossil fuels. Here, they dramatically reduce particulate emissions. Particulates are the components of air emission that lead to lung disease, asthma, and other respiratory illnesses. So our products dramatically cut that, and most of our products will be used right in this local area. That will have a very beneficial impact. We're spending an immense amount of money. We'll have a big impact on the community from an economic point of view, but most importantly, we want our impact to be one of being a good neighbor in the community. It's very important to us. We want to hear from our neighbors. We want to engage with our neighbors. We want to be a positive impact here. The story about what we're doing globally, locally, and then right here immediately is a good one. And we're really looking forward to taking this 100-year-old oil refinery and making it a really important regional asset for the transition of fossil fuels to clean. renewable fuels for the next 100 years. So in closing, thank you for the opportunity for me to take a couple minutes to share with you what we're doing. This is the beginning, not the end of the conversation. Thanks for the opportunity to talk about it.
To kick things off, I would like to start by introducing our remarkable members. As you can see, we have a diverse group of businesses that participate in the Chamber. We currently have about 270 businesses within the Chamber of Commerce. Our professional and lending businesses account for 28% alone. These businesses work primarily with individuals providing services as banking, insurance, tax, and bookkeeping, and repair service, employment agencies, and more. Our professional and lending portion, this group also includes company that provides a variety of services to residents and businesses. Next, we have our retail and restaurant members. This group makes up the second largest portion of the membership, 23%. These are most recognized businesses in town. Obviously, eating is not only my favorite, but the City of Paramount's favorite pastimes. These businesses provide essential services to the people that live and work here. Churches and nonprofits. This group provides enrichment services as an outlet for charity and giving back to the community. Manufacturing slide here. Manufacturing and wholesale services comprise 10% of the membership. These are the businesses that make products in America and export around the world. Then we have our last 5 groups. Housing and development for 8%. Community services, 7%. Health and wellness at 6%. Distributors, fabricators, wholesalers, and make up 4%. And our education makes up 3%. This is only a small portion of the work we do. Just for fun, we took another look at our membership based on the number of employees of these businesses. If you were paying attention, you would see that education now went from being the smallest group to the largest group. You see a whole different perspective on who and what the Chamber is. Did you know the Chamber members can use our Business Resource Center for training, meetings, sessions, and events? It's about 500 square feet, and we have tables and chairs and media capabilities to facilitate your off-site meetings or any needs. Please contact the Chamber office for any further information or availability. Not everyone is aware of the services a Chamber provides, or that we offer free business counseling in partnership with Long Beach Community College Small Business Development Center. Counseling is not restricted to our membership, but it is open for anyone interested in opening or expanding businesses. During the time when we could not meet face-to-face, our bilingual counselor was hard at work providing one-on-one counseling sessions. He is now doing both, in person and virtually. For anyone who is interested, he is available through SBDC office at Long Beach Community College. We can get you connected. That's what we do. We also publish an online monthly newspaper called the Pulse Beat. The purpose of the Pulse Beat is to provide city news to the City of Paramount and to provide an affordable avenue to our local businesses for advertisement, which is in turn promotes economic growth with the city. If that isn't enough, the Chamber also has an active Facebook and Instagram page. We use it to promote events, job openings, community events. Facebook and Instagram have helped us to reach a broader audience and distribute sensitive information quickly. Last year, we helped some businesses open their doors and use a pulse speed and social media to promote them. We were even able to do some virtual ribbon cuttings. We even went live on Facebook and had our government officials join in through Zoom. As president, it is one of my favorite events to see new members getting recognitions, not only from the chambers, but for proclamations and encouragement from our elected representatives. We held several networking events that were attended by local and outside businesses and residents. We held breakfast, lunchtime, evening mixers to accommodate all those schedules. Last year, we participated in some events with other chamber members as well, making new connections with our memberships. We participated in virtual games, met new people, even shared our makeshift home offices with the groups. One of the most exciting events was our tour with SoFi Stadium. It brought the child out in all of us, as you can imagine. They were allowed on the field, throwing footballs, right? The annual State of the City address sells out every year, this year as well. This is a perfect opportunity for the businesses to learn what is happening in Paramount and learn how to get involved in the community. Last year, we did a virtual State of the City and broadcasted on Facebook Live. Our annual job fair last Saturday and also additional one in July were successes. Combined, there was almost 100 vendor tables who helped more than 300 people look for jobs, create a resume, and provide resume critiques. For those of you who have extra fun and like to socialize, we have our annual golf classic coming up at Los Coyotes Country Club in Buena Park. Last year, more than 100 golfers enjoyed an afternoon on the green. So we hope to see every single one of you guys there. So ask more information for the chamber, please. At the end of each fiscal year, we hold our annual awards and installation. This is our opportunity to thank the individuals and businesses who make it possible for Paramount to have such an active chamber in the region. We were able to host a few of most exciting events last year, but we'll be able to host more this year. So please keep a lookout for what's coming back this year, like the Women in Business that will be held on April 27th, our poker tournament that will be held on September 23rd, and who knows what we have up our sleeves for this year coming up also. So please keep an eye on that. One thing we are proud of is our members, how they continue to connect and reach out to the community. Here are some of the events that you do, even without our direct help. Here are a few pictures of the events that took place during the pandemic. Members donated materials and constructed new gardening boxes for Collins Elementary School. Speaker Rendon held a drive-through school supply giveaway. Our members contributed supplies and funds. There were numerous food giveaways that popped up all around town that were our members contributed and volunteered. Our chamber offices were used to resource for many businesses to file documents for grants, SBA loans. Special thanks to Sam Katab, our ambassador chair, who went out of the door to door checking on the small businesses and helping them get the grants they needed. Through there were many events that could not take place last year. We did not give up and continue to look for ways to reach out to help the businesses of residential community. Don't forget to give the PEP fund that provides scholarship for graduates to continue their education. One of our most important teams is our ambassadors. If it wasn't for this group, our volunteers helping at every event, we could not be able to do what we do. Several of them are here today, and I would like to ask them to stand so we could give them a warm applause. Thank you. Okay, so why should you do business in Paramount at the Paramount Chambers? We have a business resource and referrals. We have networking opportunities, print media and digital, social media advertising, and connecting directly with its great community. And you know what? We have so much fun, you guys, so please join our team. As you can see, Paramount has an awesome chamber. Great things are happening in Paramount, and the chamber is very proud to be part of that success. I want to give you guys all a big round of applause for what you do in helping accomplish this year. So with that said, I want to introduce Mr. Ruben Frutos, the superintendent of Paramount.
Thank you very much, Alicia. It is interesting to do a speech right after lunch, so we are going to try to keep you awake to the best of my ability. But I have to tell you, I'm going to have to improvise. My team is incredibly good, and they had prepared a whole presentation for us, for our school district, to showcase what we do to you after a couple of years of being away. However, something happened this morning that I need to tell you about. So what we're going to do, we're going to show you the presentation, and there are going to be times that you'll know that I'm reading. But I also want to improvise and tell you about what the district is doing today that we believe will be a culture-changing event for our school district. So the first thing that I want to do is to welcome you. Good afternoon. And I would like to thank the Chamber of Commerce and our elected officials for including the school district in this State of Our Community event. Your vision that the wealth of a community is contingent upon the success of its schools and its students continues to help our students achieve higher levels of success and have important opportunities, and we will talk about those, as they prepare for their future. Our students are the future leaders in our community and citizens of the city of Paramount. They will continue a legacy of service that all of you embrace, because as we say in our district, once a pirate, always a pirate. So that was prepared. You know, they wrote it for me. It reads really nice. But now let me tell you what happened this morning. So our district is shifting. I like to introduce my team and then tell you what I mean by a shift. I'd like to first introduce our board member. You already saw the introduction, but I have to introduce my vice president, Diane Martinez. You can clap now, by the way, because there's very few. I also would like to introduce our executive team, starting with Dr. Myrna Morales from our HR department. This is a busy department. If you think you have a hard time hiring in your field, try to get a speech-language pathologist right now. It doesn't matter what you offer, it's very hard to do. Next is Dr. Mercedes Gomez, and she is, you know, U.S. businesses have a core mission. I'm assuming you all want to make money. We don't do that. We want to get the most success out of each one of our students. And Mercedes leads our educational program, which under the pandemic has had to deal with some difficulties, including distance learning and things we're going to talk about. And finally, Patricia, too, and she's our Assistant Superintendent of Business Services. Now, Patricia matters because she has all our money, so it is very important that we are nice to her. We're doing something a little different this year. I also brought our labor partners. A school district doesn't function well unless you get along very well and work very closely to your labor partners. So I'm going to introduce two people that are, I think, reluctant to be introduced, but it is my pleasure. First, Brent McCarthy. He's the president of our classified union, CSEA. If you think of a school district, everybody knows we have teachers and we have students, but nothing operates well if the army of folks that we have behind the scenes don't do their job. Folks in offices, folks that are doing our logistics, moving things. We serve thousands of meals a day. And during the pandemic, when I hear first responders, and I have an enormous amount of respect for them, you also have our cafeteria workers that when the pandemic first started, without knowing what it could do to them, they got those little plastic shields, gloves, and they were serving our kids live and in color every single day. To me, that's bravery. So we have this group that supports our schools. That's wonderful. And then we have Ms. April O'Connor representing our teachers. You know. So again, you have teachers that in the last 2 years have gone from being in the classroom and being in a classroom like we all remember, things posted, engaging us, to suddenly having to do it online and then right back to live, and sometimes a little bit of both. It is a difficult transition. Imagine your profession and that somebody switches it, not for convenience because you can work from home, but you also have to provide the service that you provide from home when it's supposed to be live. So think about that for a second. And finally, nothing operates without an office running. And I have a wonderful executive team. I'd like to introduce Isela Preciado. If you call my office and they make me do something that needs to be done, it is usually them. And then we have Viviana Venegas, who also works here in our office. And finally, you know, we've learned a lot about technology in the last 2 years. We've shifted, and we have been a very fortunate district. Our district started giving Chromebooks to every student about 4 years ago. We couldn't have been as successful as we have been if we hadn't done that. Now, at the time when we did it, we didn't think of COVID. What we thought is the right thing to do to begin to give, in a community like ours, technology to our students. But it paid off really well when suddenly the students went home. In our district, every student has a Chromebook, and many of our students have devices so they can connect when their socioeconomic condition does not allow them to have the services at home that they need to have. And educational technology is important, so the final person I'd like to introduce is Jarrell Jackson, who's over there. He leads our educational technology, which means he needs to understand what a router is and a lesson online at the same time, and that's difficult to do. So I appreciated the slide about, about the size of employment in our district. This is us. We are 2,055 employees. We're a large organization. And out of those, 449 are our very own Paramount residents. So it's a wonderful percentage for our district. We currently have about 13,200 students, and you'll see how we divide amongst our schools when we show that in the next couple of slides. An important element of a pandemic in a school district is the impact that it has on the adults and the children. Our district, thanks to our Board of Education, has worked very hard to bring a new system that you'll hear a lot about if you are part of our school community, and that's MTSS. And if I leave you with nothing else today, I'd like you to remember that term. A multi-tier system of support engages the data that we have about students. Imagine the academic part being 50% and the socio-emotional piece being the other 50%. And if you can find a way to become knowledgeable about each student with those two pieces of information, imagine the service we can provide our kids. That's a system that we are working on. The governor actually announced a significant amount of support for this. And this is where the district is heading, providing as many supports for our students, especially in circumstances like we have right now, while never abandoning the quality of the instructional program that we have. Next slide, please. So we found ourselves in a unique circumstance this year, and one of the things you'll see is Paramount behaves a little different today than we behaved before the pandemic. Before the pandemic, Paramount always showed you that we were a great district, and we are. We're a wonderful district. What we've done now is every once in a while look at things where we need to grow, and instead of quietly taking care of them, we announce them to the world, and we ask you to join us to try to do better. Last year, the state announced that our school district was disproportional. And what that means is that a certain population of our students was not getting the services that they needed. In our particular case, was African American students with emotional disabilities. Now, some districts find that out and they work quietly to to try to fix it, we took a different approach. We came to the board with the state person that was giving us that information. The board took it extremely well and said, what do we do about it? Let's see how we can fix that. Remember I told you about today being different? The board approved that we train our entire district in something called cultural proficiency. And if you have heard the term, it allows individuals like me and you to learn about our implicit biases. And by the way, we all have them. And to begin to learn how do we serve our kids of any ethnic group, of any ability group, of any age group, to the best possible way to maximize their abilities. And it is a difficult training. So today is the first day in our district that 45 of us are being trained as part of 10 sessions to train everyone in our district to improve our cultural competency. Why is that important? Well, diversity continues to be an element in our communities that represents itself differently depending on your socioeconomic status, depending on where you live, depending on where you are. Remember I told you that we didn't just buy Chromebooks, but we sometimes had to buy devices for kids to connect? That's an important thing to know, because if you just give a Chromebook to a kid and he doesn't have internet at home, what does he do? So this is an important element. Why am I telling you this? Well, it's a new approach that we have, and we took it so seriously that I'm happy to tell you that the board allowed us to hire a director of equity. She just started a couple of weeks ago. You might know her. She was our principal at Lincoln School, Topeka Jones, and she is a wonderful leader in this capacity. So one of the things you'll see is we don't want to eat and run, but a couple of us, after we finish this speech, will be polite for a little while, and we're running back to that training because we consider it very important. Next slide, please. We are a large district, you know, in scale. We have 10 elementary schools, 4 middle schools, 1 K-8 school, 3 high schools, an extended day school, adult education, adult transition, and early childhood education. That's us, and you will begin to see students in our slides. One of the things that I wanted to showcase is it is important for us to tell you what we, the adults, do, but today you're also going to see a couple of mini movies of where our children fit into the picture, including a small portion of a lesson done by one of our wonderful teachers. Next slide, Dora. So I mentioned the pandemic, an important element for us because the district had to pivot very quickly to provide a strong academic program in a new way. We still have over 1,000 students in what we call independent study. That means that they're learning online, and we are working to shift that into an academy for those students that want to remain, which means Paramount will continue to offer a virtual school in the future for those students that need it. Why? Because our goal is to provide an opportunity for every student in whichever way they can succeed. Next slide, please. I'm happy to tell you that our early childhood education program is shifting. We have a very energetic new director, and you'll hear Rita's voice in the past. To me, she sounds like an incredibly young person. At my age, everyone sounds like a young person. But this program is trying to attract as many students to our district. Why? We are declining in enrollment. Many districts are. It's not uncommon. But we also know that we can offer an amazing service in this community. So the more we attract at a younger age, the better. And this program is doing fantastic. They just had an event recently, and over 100 families came to visit us. Terrell? So now you get to begin to hear what we sound like in the district.
Hello, kiddos.
That's our director, believe it or
Welcome to
not.
Paramount. Woo!
Our programs are designed to make our students hopefully continue their entire career through us until they're college or career ready. And we're very hopeful that the evolution of our early childhood education program will continue that. Now I'm going to showcase a few levels, how we operate as a school district. Jarell, if you don't mind. At our elementary level, I want to showcase Jefferson Elementary. They were recognized as an AVID Elementary Showcase School. And for those of you that don't know what AVID is one of those programs that allows our kids to be interested in college from an early age. All our elementaries continue to expand those AVID programs across all the grade levels that the program functions in. So we're very proud of our elementary schools. Darrell, let's go to middle schools. Our middle schools, they're doing very well. As a matter of fact, if you drive by Zamboni, you'll see a new building there. We have a big construction project going on. Not only that, they were recently recertified as a school to watch. That's a wonderful accolade for a middle school. It means they're doing very well, and that distinction is something that they have. And our Thinking Math classrooms were expanded throughout the 7th grade and will soon reach 8th grade. And we're about to see how our teachers are in action, so you'll be inside one of our classrooms, which most of the time people don't have a chance to do. Jerome?
So when you see your group, go to your board. The boards are numbered. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Juliana.
How many of you had those tables that turn and you can write on when you went to school?
What's our thinking? What are we going to do to show our thinking? That's what you're going to discuss. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to discuss, to make a plan. We're going to make a plan, all right? You have 30 seconds. I want you to plan out A, B, and C. Go. Okay, so they employ 2 different tools to get the job done with all of them. Anything else? Any wonderings? Any wonderings? Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Let's work on that. Erase the board. I got a couple minutes. We're going to do some thinking. That's a tough one. Good thinking. Good thinking. I see lots of thinking going here.
Even if you don't like math or science, my guess is that you wouldn't mind jumping in and writing a couple of equations or trying to solve something. Our high school program is a very robust program, and one of our schools that we want to highlight to you this year is our Odyssey STEM Academy. If you remember, about 4 or 5 years ago, the district began to look at a specialized program in Lakewood. We opened an academy with 1 grade, 9th grade. The second year it was 9-10, then 9-10, 11. I'm happy to tell you that this will be the first year that the graduating class of Odyssey will finish their classes there. And this 12th grade is scheduled to go through a WASC accreditation. What that means for us is that the state, the Western Association of Schools and Colleges, comes and visits the school. And if we pass, and we believe we will, for the next several years, that is an accredited institution, which is a good thing to have in a school district. And we're very pleased with the way Odyssey is evolving as a STEM academy. Next slide. One of the programs that we like to showcase is our adult program. All of you know that we have what we called before kindergarten, TK, and elementary childhood education all the way to high school. But we have also a very strong adult program. Up to 6,000 students participate in our program. They do equivalent high school diplomas in a variety of career technical education programs that we are very proud of. So we like to showcase our adults too, that we provide services for. Next slide. As I mentioned to you, we've been going through a very significant construction project. Zamboni, a few years ago, we noticed that it was beginning to look aged. It had a lot of portable structures, single story, that were occupying most of the campus. With our bond funds, we started a process of developing a 2-story, 20-some classroom plus dance room. If you look on the right, that's a brand new dance room that they have. And the technology that we're placing now is shifting. We're moving away from projectors and putting very large TVs in every room and a variety of technology devices that the school is showcasing. Next slide. This is the construction project. So if you look on the upper left, that was the architectural rendering. If you look on the upper right, that's a view, I think from a drone, might have been somebody's helicopter, of what the construction project looked like. All the dirt wasn't dirt before, so that's the scope of the project. If you look on the lower left, you'll see where the buildings are situated and all the work that is being done to create a better inflow of traffic, fields, et cetera, et cetera. And then on the lower right side, another rendering of what the building would be. If you drive by there now, you see an almost completed project. We expect to have everything finished within the next month or so. Next slide. I'm going to go through our career pathways just so that you know what our students in Paramount can do within the district. Each one of this allows our students to be either career or college ready. So we'll go through some of them: architectural design, biochemical science, computer science, design, visual, and media arts. Now, the reason why these are important, you know that if you have programming skills nowadays with gaming and virtual reality, these are very marketable skills. The next one, Gerald. We also have education, child development, family services, an engineering pathway, entrepreneurship, food service and hospitality, sports medicine pathway, patient care way, and esports gaming. Now, the last one I'd like to talk to you a little bit about. Last year, our team approached the board and said, we would like to do something with online esports gaming. And it was difficult to comprehend sometimes, what can a school district do about that? Well, the programming creates those environments that you see in those famous games, EA, et cetera, et cetera. The fact that our students are working on that, again, is something that we believe makes them very marketable, and it creates an environment for their careers to go into college, computer science or something like that, or into work if they choose to do that. So on behalf of the school district, our Board of Education, and our team, we want to thank you again for being such good partners. Our district is evolving. We are a team that's incredibly re-energized but exhausted this year. If you walk around our facilities, you see people that look tired, big circles under the eyes, but a big smile. So I don't know what to make of that. But we will continue providing great services, and all we hope is that next year, like we said this year, it'll be a normal year, which for Paramount doesn't matter, we'll be successful regardless. Thank you very much.
Not that she needs an introduction, but Mayor Brenda Olmos.
Well, first of all, as kind of going back to what Mr. Fruto said, I'm going to wake you guys all up right now. So what I want you to do, look at your table. If somebody does not have green on, figure it out. Either you give them a pinch, a hug, a kiss, whatever it is, but I need you guys to look at each other because today is St. Patrick's Day. There it is. Well, that was I started a party. I think that's what I did. So you guys, before I start my presentation today, I really want to share between myself as the mayor and my colleagues that are here today, we cannot do anything and make the city what it is today without our staff. So if I could please have all the Paramount City staff, please stand up and please give them a round of applause. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here today and showing your support for the chamber, the city, and the school district. It's nice. It's actually really nice to be in the same room and see all these beautiful faces with no masks on. It's kind of bringing us a little bit back to reality. While 2021 was another challenging year in so many ways, the city continued its efforts to serve, help, and support our residents and businesses. I'm going to talk about some of the major highlights, then City Manager John Moreno will come up and give more details. But first, on behalf of my fellow City Council members, I want to wish everyone a very happy St. Patrick's Day and actually share the following Irish saying: may your troubles be less and your blessings be more, and nothing but happiness come through your door. Is that pretty good? All right, so today I'm going to lead with a talk about community engagement. Keeping the lines of communication open and flowing between our residents and the city is so vital and it's just so very important to us. Our efforts at community engagement made even more necessary when the pandemic increased last year. We honored 230 residents, businesses, and community leaders at city council meetings. My favorite, perhaps, for personal reasons, were those receiving the monthly Mayor's Award of Excellence. This award recognizes exceptional contributions made to our community. I want you to know who has received those awards so far. April Villanueva, Girl Scout leader and the administrator from the Paramount Community Facebook page, the Paramount Pride Scholarship Foundation, local historian, and I know you guys all see him on Facebook, Mike McCone, our very one and only Dr. Max Martinez, the Latinas Art Foundation, Tony Manos of Domino's Pizza, because we all love Domino's, our major service clubs in the city that support all of our efforts, and of course, the teachers of Paramount Unified School District. That was a very important award to us. And last but not least, it was Dr. Eugene Allen of Dusk to Dawn Urgent Care Clinic. My very final award was actually very personal to me when it comes to public safety. And I did want to recognize our first responders of the Paramount Sheriff Station and the County Fire Department Station 31. Please give them all a round of applause. A major success last year was bringing back our holiday celebrations as in-person events while we followed all the health department protocols. We had our standard large turnouts, and I think everybody was thrilled for that kind of normalcy back to return. I also started a series of Coffee with the Mayor events to meet with residents and hear their concerns. Those were kind of fun, actually, meeting early, 8 o'clock in the morning, and people were coming out. They wanted some Starbucks coffee. It was kind of great. So let's talk a little bit now about public safety. Ensuring the safety of our community is always the city's #1 priority, and it gets the largest portion of our budget. One of the most infuriating issues to affect our region, even the whole state, has been what? Street racing and intersection takeovers. These, of course, are incredibly dangerous stunts. Here's a video shot by the CHP of one such takeover in Paramount.
I have it. A lot of foot traffic, Garfield, just north, or Jackson, just north of Garfield. Air 51, do you have a car doing donuts right now?
Yeah, that's a firm. So it can be a white Dodge Challenger.
Copy that, a white Dodge Challenger doing donuts now. Try and follow that thing and get the driver up.
Monroe.
Keep going.
Good. Stop. That car right there. Stop that one.
That's the Camaro.
Okay, drivers.
So that evening, the officers were able to coordinate from the air with ground units, and drivers were arrested. To combat these offenses, the City Council approved tough new penalties in 2020, and the Sheriff's Department formed a task force to enforce it and also to focus on it. Last year, the suppression efforts in Paramount were successful in a number of cases. There were 465 service calls received reporting street racing, 106 arrests made, 272 notices to appear citations, 73 spectator citations for street takeovers, 92 vehicles towed, and 86 vehicles impounded. Paramount has gained a growing reputation for these efforts. In fact, earlier this month, I was asked to speak about this during a press conference in Sacramento on the steps of the Capitol. And this did not happen with the partnership, which I want to recognize today, of Contract Cities, who was able to pull Paramount in and talk about what we're doing in our community. So thank you, Contract Cities, for that opportunity. You could tell I was talking in that picture, though. But seriously, we will never stop targeting these criminals, most of whom don't even live in our town, but come from other places. Now, let's discuss city finances. As every business knows, when it comes to financial issues, it is essential to be strong and secure. Paramount has long been responsible and conservative with the public's money. Part of this fiscal mission is to retain a robust reserve, that well-known rainy day fund. Last year, we increased our reserves to $14.81 million. That is 48% of City's 2022 general fund. We're in really good shape, you guys. Totally me. So good economic investments are key to fiscal health. Paying attention to all segments of a community is vital to society's health. As a city, Paramount is completely invested in our youth. Some of you might know I have a background in youth sports, so these activities are very important to me. In 2021, the city made some moves regarding our youth leagues that should help both kids and the organizations. Funding-wise, we now provide direct scholarships to participants so every child can play sports without worry or cost. We also have given the leagues free access to a CPA to help with their financial and nonprofit status. We have also strengthened our partnerships to introduce activities and programs for our special needs children. Beyond sports, we hosted a new back-to-school event last year. It was another example of really feeling good about being part of this city. Nearly 400 Paramount families were given free backpacks, school supplies, shoes, sweaters, and we even provided haircuts that day. Shown here are some of the donors who pitched in to make it happen, and we appreciate them very, very much. Lastly, we helped a group of kids from outside our community who were dear to our hearts, holding a book drive for the undocumented children housed at the Long Beach Convention Center. Now, I want to talk a little bit about our businesses. As a longtime Chamber board member and honored to be a past president, I've also been very close to our business community. It's no secret that the pandemic has been hard on many of us in town. For those who suffered, we sympathize and trust that things have turned the corner. The city has been supportive in many, many ways. For instance, we issued $470,000 in COVID-19 related assistance grants to 47 businesses. The alfresco dining program was kept in place so restaurants could stay afloat. And how many have eaten at our restaurants that are outside? Come on, more people than that. Get those hands up. We also passed an ordinance and confronted the fees that certain food delivery services were charging. Speaking of food, a real bright spot was the opening of Smoke and Fire Social Eatery at Clearwater Crossing. If you haven't gone yet, you should. I know it's fabulous, and I know Councilmember Lemons loves that place. Next, I'll share some details about the infrastructure in Paramount. The city is always focused on maintaining and improving our physical surroundings, our built environment. If you were following the news about the massive infrastructure bill in Washington, you know that infrastructure has been neglected in many places. In Paramount, that's never been acceptable. We pride ourselves in the way our city looks and how sturdy our various systems are. Our water, roads, landscape, and more. Last year, for instance, we repaved 7 segments of roadway covering 2 miles, including neighborhood streets. We replaced 4,250 square feet of sidewalk, 1,000 feet of curb and gutter, and 1,800 square feet of driveway aprons. That's a lot of cement. Our water utility began construction on our 4th well to ensure a safe and affordable water supply for years to come. In regards to facility improvements, you are all actually sitting in one of our cooler projects. What do you think about this new building? The interior of this building was completely renovated, and we hope you like the new look. I'm thrilled also to report that we were selected by Sacramento to be a part of a $6 billion statewide project. This will improve broadband infrastructure and bring full internet access to our community. That is amazing. We are so excited for this, and it's going to help all of our children that need that broadband for their homes as well. From the built environment, we now switch to the environment that surrounds us. Paramount has been committed for decades to sustainability and green initiatives. The history of eco-friendly actions has been recognized by a variety of organizations. The Los Angeles County Green Leadership Award, numerous League of California Cities Beacon Awards, the Gateway Cities Council of Government Energy Action Award, we got the gold level, the South Coast Air Quality Management District Model Community Achievement Award for dealing with air quality issues. The Institute for Local Government's Boost program, which is devoted to sustainability community planning. We were one of only 10 cities in the state invited to join. And of course, the National Arbor Day Foundation's Tree City USA. And I'm not sure if you guys noticed when you're walking into Progress park today, all the brand new trees that are out there. So come water them if you get a chance, please. Help us out. Last year, we earned the Tree City designation for the 3rd year in a row, and it's not automatically renewed. But just to share, I will share, we did receive it again in 2022. Last year, we adopted a climate action plan, a huge undertaking of only 3 cities in the region to do so. And as maybe you've noticed after dark, we've worked with SoCal Edison to convert every street light in town to be brighter, more energy-efficient LED bulbs. How many of you have walked in your alleys and noticed like it's super bright, like you think it's sunshine outside, right? I actually had to call John and be like, what happened? But of course, hovering over everything in 2021 was the pandemic. Things got better, then things got worse. And all the while, we did whatever we could to help our community. We conducted mass vaccination clinics with Cal OES and FEMA and the Center for Family Health. We worked with Paramount Family Pharmacy and Clínica Médica Hispana to hold many more. Paramount was actually the first city in LA to host a mobile COVID testing bus, and we coordinated ongoing testing at Paramount and Progress Parks. In fact, we had the honor to have Governor Newsom visit the site in Paramount Park and show his support. To recognize residents who tragically lost their lives to COVID-19, the City Council held a memorial service. Eventually, a memorial honoring these victims will be placed in the Civic Center coming soon. Another ongoing area of concern was homelessness. To coordinate our programs and study what else could be done, the City Council started a subcommittee on homelessness. We have received grant funding for this issue, which combined our specific efforts have had a great impact. Last year, there was 19% decrease in homelessness in Paramount, with shelter found for 19 individuals. We offered services to 72 more, and we safely and legally stored belongings of 22 homeless neighbors. Here are a few other positives from 2021. The city won the John Todd Award from Contract Cities Association for our longtime productive partnership with the Paramount Unified School District. We gained a $44,000 state grant to wipe out overdue balances on residential water accounts caused by COVID-19. A new housing development next to Home Depot was approved to build needed residential units. And we entered into an exciting agreement to convert the Enclave apartments into middle-income housing. These will be affordable units available to middle-class workers like teachers, first responders, and public safety personnel. So there you are. You have some highlights of 2021 in our beautiful city of Paramount. To be sharing this with you as mayor of my hometown is such a pure joy. Having the opportunity to lead this city over the past year has been one of the greatest honors of my life. I appreciate you all very much, and thank you for taking the time to listen to me today. Thank you. Now, I would like to call up our fearless leader and welcome City Manager John Moreno.
Thank you, Mayor Olmos, once again for all that you do on behalf of the staff. We always say that the leadership it does begin on top, and the 5 women that lead this city are just incredible at what they do. So thank you to you all. Let's give them a round of applause. Last year was indeed a very active time for this city. Not to brag about our employees as our mayor did earlier. Well, okay, maybe I'll continue that just a little bit. But with all the challenges of the pandemic, everyone with the city has done a remarkable job of keeping things going and always advancing, moving on. The mayor listed the highlights, but there were even more accomplishments in 2021, and I'll be going over theirs kind of in a random type of fashion. I also have a few St. Patrick's Day fun facts to sprinkle throughout. As you know, those of you that have come, you always hear me say kind of quirky things here and there, so that's going to happen today too. You may not know this, but this is one of my favorite holidays. Even though I'm not Irish, I'm Mexican, but I become Irish on this day. But I never miss the chance to fill up on a Shamrock Shaker too, so I have one here ready. So, anyway, last year we created a number of things. For instance, we started a new Halloween Hootenanny event for families and a walking club for seniors. We held a virtual eco-friendly fair with 200 fruit trees given away to residents. We expanded the Dia de los Muertos festival with the Latinos Arts Foundation into Peak's sister cities. We revised the quarterly Pitch and Paramount cleanups to benefit targeted neighborhoods throughout town. We refreshed the Paramount Works app with a new look and more user-friendly features, including a way to report illegal fireworks. And if you don't have the app yet, please download it for free from the App Store or Google Play. We held the first job fair with our new Workforce Development Board, which is a huge success with over 200 job seekers and 58 employers. We created a brochure stating the city's vision, mission, and values, copies of which, by the way, were left at your table. Now, with crime prevention, we issued 84 rebates to residents for home security systems worth a total of $15,700 and conducted 2 catalytic converter theft prevention events with 59 etchings done. You know, the criminals who burglarize homes and steal catalytic converters are truly cold-blooded snakes. Which leads me to my first St. Patrick's bit. There is a legend about St. Patrick's that he stood atop a hillside and banished all the snakes from Ireland, serpents being a symbol of the devil. But as it turns out, there is no fossil record of snakes ever living in Ireland. So legends are sometimes just made up, as we all know. So anyway, back to public safety. License plate readers, they can be controversial, but they offer huge advantages in fighting crime and recovering stolen vehicles. As such, we purchased 10 of these and placed them at intersections throughout town. Our citywide parking committee was restarted again and met with residents from 3 neighborhoods to find solutions to this ongoing pervasive issue. As the mayor mentioned earlier, the pandemic was not kind to many businesses, as everyone in this room knows very well. We supported those who were affected in a variety of ways. We helped with navigating the restrictions established by the health department, and we reconvened the Business Recovery Committee to provide other types of guidance. Now, to encourage an economic jumpstart, we created a Shop Local Paramount program with help from the Chamber called Explore Paramount. So a big thank you to Barbara for helping us out with that. As an interesting partnership, we worked with the new Starbucks on Alondra to help them become an LEED certified building, which is a nationally recognized green building designation. Green, of course, here we go, reminds us again of St. Patrick. Did you know that corned beef and cabbage, that was our standard St. Patrick's Day meal, is not even Irish? It's an American invention. It was made up, so. As far as other green actions taken by the city, we replaced some of our older vehicles with electric ones through a multi-year agreement with Enterprise for fleet management that will also save us money in repair and acquisition costs. Our promotion of education for our residents continued last year with the PEP scholarship still healthy and thriving. In fact, in 2021, 36 scholarships were awarded to Paramount College students. Thank you so much to those in the audience today who have been generous donors, and I wish to give those here applause. And thank you also to our PEP Foundation board members from the business community that include Alicia Valadez, Dr. Max Martinez, John Tankledge, Glenn Clausen, and Jose Baca. Altogether, over the past 18 years, we have been able to give out 451 scholarships worth nearly $1.4 million. That deserves another round. For our younger residents, we started a free youth activities league in conjunction with the Sheriff's Department that provides kids with all sorts of positive activities and life lessons. Now, shifting gears over to transportation, the Metro Light Rail Transit line will be coming through Paramount in a few years. Well, that's what they've been saying for a very long time anyway, so it should be coming though. While this will provide many great benefits to residents and businesses, We are very attentive to any potential downsides. As such, we submitted a 22-page letter to Metro with comments, concerns, and questions about the line. Now, moving over to the financial side, the mayor mentioned some points about our fiscal strength. And in 2021, we continued to find ways to get stronger. We pressed on with our phased-in approach to pension reform by having employees pay a larger share of their retirement. Additionally, for the first time ever, we issued municipal bonds at a low interest rate to pay off our pension debt, which will save the city $4.9 million. Thanks to the city's strong management and good financial policies and practices, these bonds gain a AA- rating. Think of this as a very high personal credit score. Also related to bonds, our redevelopment agency bond rating went from an A to an A+. This is definitely a sign of the strength and stability of Paramount property values. Now, one of the most important functions our city performs is supplying our residents and businesses with fresh, clean water. Last year, we commissioned a comprehensive rate study to ensure the system's long-term endurance. This hasn't been done in decades. And I'm happy to report that out of 7,500 accounts, only one protest was lodged against the new water rates. These rates will keep the system safe and strong for years to come and are still among the lowest in the area. You know, good municipal financial management means more than responsible budgeting and counting on traditional revenue streams. In Paramount, we are always on the lookout for other sources of income, mainly in the form of grants. Our team has been very effective in this endeavor. In fact, over the last 3 years, we applied for and were awarded a whopping $39.2 million in grants. Believe me, thank you. Believe me, the pursuit of these funds from many, many cities and agencies is extremely competitive. So I'm very proud of our staff for their tenacity and success. Last year alone, for example, we received the following straight grants: $582,000 for new traffic signals and other traffic safety improvements, including a new signal that will go in front of the Stater Brothers Market. $6.2 million in our after-school program, $1.25 million through Speaker of the Assembly Rendon's office for park improvements, and another $1 million for improvements specifically at Dills Park. These revenue streams free up portions of our general fund to be used for other programs and services. We finished a number of park improvements, such as the new mini-pitch soccer court at Dills Park, done in partnership with Target department stores. We also updated the running track at Salute Park and resurfaced some of our basketball courts and remodeled public restrooms at other parks. The track courts and restrooms were completed thanks to another important source of revenue, the passage of the sales tax increase in 2020. This raised the retail sales tax in town slightly and guaranteed that the money can only be used for projects here and never be taken by the state or the county. We continue to thank our residents for passing Measure Y by a margin over 70%. Our public art gallery expanded last year with murals painted on 6 utility boxes in one building using 7 local artists under the Paramount Paints program. Now, speaking of colorful things, did you know that Chicago celebrates St. Patrick's Day by dyeing the river green? Maybe we should do that with the LA River, although instead of dye, we'd have to use gallons of paint, so maybe not. The city took more measures related to COVID last year. I look forward to the day when this topic doesn't have to be addressed anymore. But in the meantime, in 2021, we paid for taxi rides to vaccination sites and helped make online appointments for seniors. We held or assisted with 4 food distribution events for residents with the LA Regional Food Bank, the Sheriff's Department, the Paramount Pride nonprofit, and the ASSCME Union. We offered gift cards to residents ages 12 to 24 to encourage them to get vaccinated. We issued 10 $5,000 checks to nonprofit groups for COVID relief. We operated the STAR After School program as a remote learning program for students of working parents. We distributed 1,500 free COVID at-home test kits, and we gave away an amazing 50,000 face masks and thousands of hand sanitizers, with special thanks to J1 Foods and Assembly Member Rendon. Let's give them a hand as well. And there you have 2021 in Paramount. I hope I haven't bored anybody with this lengthy list, but I think it's important to share just how much your city actually does. Of course, it's our duty, our pleasure, and our honor to serve the entire community in these ways. This is truly a special place full of good, committed, friendly people working hard to help each other thrive. Now, let me close with this last St. Patrick's tidbit. Did you know that the world's shortest St. Patrick's Day parade is held in an Irish village, and it only goes for 100 yards? That happens to be the distance between their two pubs, so just so you know. And on that note, I toast all of you, and thank you for spending your time with me this afternoon. Thank you.